What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training. It's today we're going to be breaking down 3 tips to be a better overall wide receiver. So first thing we're talking about is how wide receivers can improve their catch in traffic. Then we're going to talk about how wide receivers can get faster off the ball. And then we're going to talk about how you guys can be a smarter wide receiver on the field by improving your football IQ. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Hope it teaches you a few new things. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to get some work in with myself and my staff of coaches that we fly out to different states across the U.S., we have 3 more opportunities this summer to train with us. So we're coming out to Nashville, Tennessee, Salt Lake City, Utah, and then Los Angeles, California for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. We'll have DBs out there for one-on-ones on the last day. We'll be doing 4 hours of training each day, so it's a lot of work, a lot of reps. So fellas, if you guys want some more information on that, check out that very first link in the description below. Let's get started. So first situation I want to talk about here is how to improve your catch in traffic. So this is a clip from Amari Cooper. Route was obviously phenomenal. But how do you make a catch when you got a defender right on your hip and you got a guy coming over the top? How do I stay focused? How do I not tense up when that ball is coming? Because I know that's something that a lot of people do. They come over the middle. Maybe it's a late throw. Maybe they're having to sit in zone coverage and they tense up because they feel those guys around them. And the main thing is you just have to rep this out. Catching is one of those things, fellas, that you have to constantly work getting to this position right here where you see that ball hit your hands. So when you guys are working routes versus air, you're working, with just a quarterback one-on-one. Maybe you're just warming up a quarterback. Every single catch, you want to try to catch that ball in that picture frame, if you will. You want to see that ball hit your hands. The only thing in your eyesight is that football. Because when you guys can do that consistently and work on looking the ball in, see it hit your hands, see the football make contact with your hands every single time, it builds a habit in a game. I guarantee you right now, Amari Cooper is not thinking about that. But when it comes to those tough catches, in traffic, jump balls, low balls, diving catches, it all comes down to those eyes and taking that picture of the ball with those eyes. Picture frame catch, fellas. Now, when you guys are in traffic, one thing that I think you can also think about is putting the ball away quickly. Because you obviously know you got a DB on your hip, you got a safety coming over the top, linebacker. When you secure that thing, you want to be quick to the tuck and put that ball away. Because the quicker you can put that ball away, it gives the DBs less time to play your hands and rip that thing out. So fellas, when it comes to catching in traffic, eyes are number 1 and making sure we put that ball away number 2. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Obviously a great route from Amari Cooper and a great job finishing on this play, ripping that ball away and looking it and seeing it hit his hands. All right, so now, fellas, when you guys are coming off the line and it's against a press coverage DB, whether he's inside shade, outside shade, he's head-up coverage like he is in this case, to get faster, I'm going to teach you something today called a kick step. Now, this kick step gets a lot of flack. A lot of people hate on the kick step, but I'm going to show you how you can be efficient with it today. So a kick step is with this back foot, where you essentially literally kick behind yourself to shoot you out wide. So it's a way to get more explosive first steps. So let's play this thing full speed. So as you can see, a great release off the line. He steps outside the DB's frame, he gets him to move, and he's able to win on this route. So the reason why we do this kick step is also for explosion, but also so I could threaten the DB vertically. So we talk a lot about stepping outside the DB's frame, selling a fade, threatening vertical, right? So this is what I mean by that. When a DB is lined up, especially and he's head up and press, when he's head up, not even shaded, he's not shaded inside, he's not shaded outside. He is head up watching our hips. We have to actually step outside of his frame to get him to move. If I don't step there, he ain't going to move. That's just a fact. Because why would he move if you're doing all this lateral dancing? I see literal receiver coaches teach guys to step lateral and just lean with their head and shoulders. That doesn't do anything, fellas. You actually have to make him think you are running there. You actually have to step there to get him to move. And if you don't step there, a disciplined DB will lock that up every single damn time. So that's why this kick step is super important. So pretty much you just essentially pick this back foot up, you kick it behind your front foot, because for some reason when you guys are in this position, that loads your hips. Now, when you load your hips, when you actually take a step with that back foot to go wide, you can throw your hip more. Your feet were underneath your frame when you did the kick step, so it allows you to springboard your hip out with your foot. So now when your hip is attached to the cut, your upper half sells. And when you step here and your body's there, this DB has no choice but to honor that fade and to move off the platform. Those short lateral steps behind the line of scrimmage, that ain't going to do anything. Given a head and shoulder lean, that ain't going to do anything. You have to throw your hip into the break. You have to step outside his frame because that forces that DB to have to move. Now, a lot of people will say this kick step, oh, well, that's a false step. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do it when it's zone. When you have to run a route and you get a DB who's like 7 to 8 yards off, facing the quarterback, you got to run a post, you don't want to do that. You just want to get off the ball. But a lot of people say this is a false step. This is a part of the release, fellas. That is a step to get you guys to shoot your hip wide so you can move this DB off the platform and actually step outside his frame. Because that's another thing that I'll say. I'll say you want to step outside the frame, but then guys will be like, oh, well, you don't want to step too wide because you're not going to have any explosion. Well, if you don't bring your hip and your upper body, yeah, that's 100% correct because you're reaching. It's not reaching if you bring your frame with the cut, and that's what that kick step will do. And also, fellas, one last thing about this kick step. Trust me, if you guys don't kick step and you just step with the right foot, if you come out in a super flat-footed stance and you just step with the right foot, fellas, that ain't going to do anything. That's not fast enough. A disciplined DB will not bite. This kick step is a great way to get this guy to overreact, actually sell vertical, actually sell outside, and force that DB to move. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job using that kick step, moving that DB off the platform, and then winning on this inside release post route. All right, so last thing I want to talk about is how wide receivers can improve their football IQ. This is something that I think a lot of wide receivers don't know, and you need to know, because at the next level, let's say, for example, you're in high school right now, getting recruited by a couple schools, and you play at the next level. You get a scholarship, you commit, you show up, it's your first day of practice. Every single dude on the other side of the ball had the exact same thing happen, with the exception to walk-ons, with the exception to JUCO guys, but even the JUCO guys, they all got recruited. They're all fast, they're all big, they're all strong. You were in a big pond. You were a big fish in a small pond. Now you're in a big pond with a lot of other good athletes. So how you can separate yourself between those guys is by having that IQ. Not necessarily knowing, okay, I know how to do this move, I know how to do this release, but I know when to do it. So we're going to talk a little bit about reading leverage and a DB's responsibilities. So let's play this clip full speed. This is Jordan Addison out of Pitt, and he's running a slant route against inside shade coverage 5 yards off, but it's on the goal line. So we're going to talk about a few different things here. So he attacks his leverage, gives him a move outside, and wins on this slant. Now, if you know anything about me and about the videos that we've done, you know that when we have inside leverage and we have an inside route, we want to attack where? You want to attack his outside shoulder to get him to flip his hips so you could slip underneath. Now, we're going to talk about why he didn't do this here in a second and why this is the right thing to do. Now, let's just talk about leverage first, though. So how do we know what leverage is? What is leverage? What is inside shade? What is outside shade? Because I know a lot of you have questions about that because we read all the questions on these videos. Now, this inside shade, this is inside shade. That means he has inside leverage. That means that he's leveraged to the inside of you and he wants to take away the inside route. That's what that means when he's inside shade. Outside shade would mean that he's lined up outside shade of you. So he's lined up to the left of you in this case. And he has outside leverage. So that means he wants to protect the outside. He doesn't want to let you run a fade, doesn't want to let you run an out, a corner. Or he could be head up, when he's lined up directly in front of you. Now, this could be in press, those three looks. This could be at 5 yards like this. This could be at 2 to 3 yards, or it could be 7 to 8 yards. It could be any of those. So knowing his leverage is a great way to know his responsibility, and that is how we can structure my route. Now, I know that he's lined up inside shade, and he's at 5 yards. So we know if we had to run an outside route like a 10-yard out, a fade, a corner, all I would know to do is try to attack him, threaten him to where he doesn't want me to go, and now I could go run outside. And that is the same thing for press. That is the same thing for off man. If he's in press, you threaten him inside, you take the outside release, take what he gives you, even if you have to run an inside breaking route. We know that if he's outside leverage and you had to run like a post, you'd attack him outside, move him outside, then run the post. You know when to attack his leverage and when to pick his shoulder to attack. Now, you got to also know not only the leverage, not only know his responsibility, but different positions on the field mean different things for DBs and how they think. You have to think like a DB. So this DB's lined up here on the goal line, right? What is he taught never to do on the goal line? He's taught never to backpedal. So if you go at him and attack his leverage, he's just going to sit right there. He's not going to weave like he normally would. If we were on the 50-yard line and he was running this slant route and he attacked his leverage like this, he would weave to the inside and you'd end up running the slant right into him. But because he's on the goal line, he is going to sit there, and Addison knows that. So that's why he does this type of release, because he can't attack the outside shoulder. This is a quick game throw. This is not, and you see the quarterback's in gun. This is not a like play action play where he has all day with his release and he could take his sweet time. He's got to go now. So what he does is he does a great job of attacking him, knowing that this DB's not going to back up, gives him a fake crossover to the outside, and he's able to win. This is understanding the play type, the read you are on the play, how fast your read needs to be, and a DB's leverage. And fellas, I know that seems like a lot of info, but trust me, you guys, it comes from repetition, watching film, understanding coverages, understanding DBs, and going over it over and over and over again. The reason why I'm able to explain this to you is because I do it every damn day. We make a video every single day on this stuff. And that if you keep up with the videos, and it's noticeable, like the camps that we go to, the guys who are on like subscribers on YouTube who watch the videos religiously, they are on point with everything that we cover at those camps. It is noticeable when I get a kid who watches YouTube with us and a kid who doesn't, who's just there because, he wants to get good work in, and we appreciate everybody showing. But the YouTube guys understand it because they see it every day. It's a habit. It's like studying something in school. It's like times tables, for example. So fellas, you have to treat the game like that. Especially if you're not the fastest or the biggest guy, you have to approach the game like that, because your mind is how you will win a lot of reps, especially when it's a guy just as talented as you physically, or maybe more talented than you physically. Let's play this thing again full speed. I hope that helps you guys out. I hope that gives you a better understanding of how to read things off the line as a receiver. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate. Leave those in the comments section below. Always appreciate the feedback from you guys. It's always great to hear from you. We definitely appreciate it. And again, fellas, if you would like to come out, get some work in with myself and my staff at one of our camps, we are coming out to Nashville, Salt Lake City, and Los Angeles for the remainder of this year. So check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.